All right, fellas, we back now. We done went around the room a couple of times and voiced our opinions on what has happened. So let me ask you this. I think now is a good time. We should start focusing on solutions. What are some of the solutions you think we should have?
Well, first of all, I
Well,
feel okay. Go ahead, Luck. You got it.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. You got the mic.
I just feel that when we get stopped by the police, I think we should really actually read the badge, try to get a way to write down the badge number, the badge name, and if you feel any injustice, fight it in court.
If you're intoxicated, though, is that really you're
Listen,
intoxicated?
this is one solution I feel seriously we need to try to work on for real, for real. And I'm talking about anything. If you feel you being injustice, not just because you drunk or whatever, even when you're sober, you saw there were situations where there was two kids from college and they tased them and all that stuff too. You know what I'm saying? In certain situations. So you just definitely what you want to try to do is get that information, fight it in court. 99% of the time you might win that one. You know what I'm saying? Before you start running, because you know what's happening now next. You know what's happening next.
Oh no, that's gonna change. They're about to start making examples out of this free firing on black people.
So I think being pulled over is inevitable for a black man such as myself or any of us on this broadcast because we fit the description, quote unquote. So I just think you have to be calm and prepared for any situation, but to live in fear is not to live at all, I feel. And
Preach.
we have to put ourselves in better situations where we can control the narrative of not being in situations where we might get pulled over. But like I said, being pulled over is probably going to happen eventually. But if we don't do the things that a lot of our youth do, I'm going to say ages like 14 to 25, in Baltimore, the dirt bikes, it's illegal, but they still do it. The cops are not allowed to chase you, but when they get knocked off cars are hitting them, and then the parents are crying. But the parents are the ones buying the dirt bikes. We feeding into this illegal stuff, and then we cry. We cry when bad things happen. Like, we have to change the narrative and change the way we think and stop doing things that, is going to put us in situations for harm to come to us. And once we refocus on doing positive things and legal things, then I'm not going to say we don't have to worry about the police, because that's something that's always going to be in the back of our mind. But at least we lessen the chances of bad things happening. And until we do that, then, we're going to live in fear, especially if you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. Any kind of legal activity, you're putting yourself in a position to get messed with by the police, by any black cop, white cop. It doesn't even matter. Like, when you put yourself in illegal situations like drinking and driving or riding dirt bikes or selling drugs or anything that's going to require, if you get caught, for the cops to harass you, now you put yourself at a greater risk for something bad to happen. So we just got to make better decisions, I'm thinking.
I totally don't agree with the whole dirt bike thing, man. I think that's just stuff like that, man. Come on, some stuff you just like, it's not even worth it. Like, really, is it really worth it? Is it that bad that these young guys are going?
It is that bad because it's that bad.
I don't believe so.
A student of mine is in shock trauma as we speak.
And that's fine. That's different. That's different. That's the risk you take. That's the risk you take. That is your life. That's the risk you take.
But for putting other people's lives in jeopardy.
Well, all right.
Down the street.
Hold on for a second.
Bo, do you have a suggestion? Do you have a suggestion what you should do instead of going back and forth?
But just one thing, because I was one of those riders in Harlem. That's all I'm saying. Like, the risk you take on that. Like, if you get hurt, that's when you learning to ride. That. I think certain laws are put in place and they abuse how they come after you. That's all I'm saying. And again, something like that is minuscule as riding a dirt bike. They shouldn't be chased.
But you putting other people's lives in jeopardy when you're riding a dirt bike on the streets. It's not just your life. You're putting other people's lives in jeopardy.
We're getting off subject, fellas. We're getting off subject. Let's stick to the subject.
Okay. Go ahead, O. Go with your solutions.
Well, I have two things. The first one is cameras. You you got to live to tell your story. And if you're not living to tell your story, hopefully the camera will be able to tell the story. And the second thing is, people are talking about defund the police department. I think that's incorrect. We should, if anything, put more funds into the police department, more training. Not only that, up the pay. Make it so that these dudes don't want to lose their job. And also, stricter penalties for the cops. You know, get them arrested if they break the law, get them fired, get them demoted. If they do something that's not according to the standards of being a police officer. You know, that's the main thing. Instead of defunding the police department, put more money into the police department. Make it better people will apply for these jobs. You know, people with college education. You know, instead of you gotta only need 60 credits and you're in the academy for 6 months. You should be in the academy for at least 2 years. You know,
I think some places they require you. Some states I think or require you to have like a college degree now. I don't know if it's a bachelor's, but like associate or something maybe.
Yes, you should at least need a bachelor's, and then after that you should be trained for at least 2 years, not 6 months or 9 months like majority of these academies are.
Yeah, some countries are like that. One of the things I definitely think needs to improve is training, 1, and 2. I think if you discharge that firearm, especially if you're not in harm's way, it should be a way that the person you're discharging that eat up your retirement fund. So that would make them start thinking about discharging that firearm. You would have to have a real right to let shots out before, you know, I think that'll force these cops to start thinking about it, you know, because it affects them. Not the city. The city don't pay your tab. You pay your own tab. In the city.
Correct.
In the city step in. That'll make them start thinking about, you know, who they going to shoot and you know, how reckless they'll be with a firearm or how quick they judge to shoot somebody. I think that's one.
Remember the 3-strike rules? They should have a 3-strike rule. Mm-hmm. You know, you get written up 3 times, okay, you might get demoted. You know, you get another three times, you out of here. You know, there should be something like that. Not that you get 9 write-ups and nothing happened to you. This dude had 9 write-ups. Dude that killed George. 9 write-ups.
Yep.
Nothing happened to him.
What if we change the narrative? Like, I'm gonna say, out of the black men that I know, I don't know any black men that are trying to encourage their kids to become police officers. If you want to change it, then become that change.
Yeah,
why don't we encourage our kids, instead of throwing a football or dunking a basketball, why don't we encourage them to become law officers?
That's not true. In the town that I'm working in
Mount
Vernon, New York.
I said me. I said me. People that I know, because I know in Baltimore, I don't know anybody that's trying to encourage the kids to be police. They all want them to be basketball players and football players. I don't know what it's like where you at, but where I'm at, but we want to complain.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, though.
I mean, someone want to be, you know, a basketball player, football player, but you also got to have something to fall back on. But not only that, you should live in the town or the zip code that you're a police officer. You should live in that town. And I don't mean for 6 months. I don't mean for 6 months, and then you become a police officer. Then you move out. You have to reside in that town if you want to police in that town. And you can't live in Staten Island and an all-white town and then come police in the Bronx. You have to be from the Bronx County in order to police in the Bronx.
Because I've encouraged kids to become this. I don't want to lock up my friends.
Or at least
that's how they think. That's how they think.
Well,
you got to change their mindset. Yeah, you got to change their mindset.
I'm trying every day.
Well, at least I was about to say, at least if you're not from the town, your partner at least need to be from the town.
No.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
No, you should only police the town that you live in. That's it. That should be the new law.
Oh, only police the town that you live in?
Some people don't feel comfortable with that. Yeah, I think it's hard. You got a family there, man. Well, it's tough.
But I like what you said, the whole thing about teaching kids to want to be police. But again, it's always that bad stigma, right? That's what has to change. Like, you hear kids say, yo, I hate the police. and you ask them why, they really don't know why. It's just that they repeating what they heard.
No, they know why, because they see what happens.
Not all kids,
but they usually see what happens. I mean, everyone's as you growing up, you hate the police, didn't you?
I wouldn't say I hated the police.
I didn't.
But
I was taught.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You were taught to hate the police for a certain reason. And a lot of the reasons you hate the police is because somebody probably did something they wasn't supposed to.
Yes.
And guess what?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. Because
that's what you remember. Like my uncle's a cop. I had cool cops growing up.
See, but and that's
my
the thing.
neighborhood was cool.
More cops are like guys who dads were cops, has a higher chance of becoming.
Let me finish what I was saying.
Go ahead.
I said it doesn't matter if they did something wrong, if they was mistreated after they did something wrong, instead of being held accountable and being arrested. If they was mistreated while they were arrested, that's why you hated the cops. If you hop the turnstile, and you get slammed to the floor, and you see your friend get slammed to the floor and roughed up for hopping the turnstile, you're going to dislike the cop. Situation like that.
I got that, but at the same time, you're still taught to hate the police from an early age, even if you don't see anything happen. Like, you don't just come out, every 5 or 6 year old or 7-year-old that grew up in the cities, they don't always see something happen to police, but what they do hear is probably somebody from an older generation, down talking to police or cursing at the police, not showing no type of respect. And I'm not sticking for the police officers at all, but I think, you learn a lot of behaviors. You just take on that trait just because of the environment you in.
It comes from somebody that you love getting locked up. Like at an early age, your father might have gotten locked up. He might have did something messed up that you don't know about, but in the back of your mind, I don't like the cops. They locked my dad up. Or they lock my favorite uncle up, and that lives with you though. Like, you just don't like them for whatever reason it is. Like, all cops ain't the same. Like I said, I have an uncle that's a cop, and I have people that I don't even know that's cops. The cops in my neighborhood, they used to like play with the kids. We had PAL centers, so we had those cool cops. Y'all have PAL centers in New York?
Yeah, PAL. We don't call it
PAL.
Yeah. See, Owen ain't even know. They call it PAL out here in Virginia too.
Okay. We had leagues. We had leagues and everything. Basketball leagues, the PAL, police.
I think it started with us, man. Started in New York.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. I was taught to respect authority as a kid, and I taught my kids that. I told them that the cops is here to protect you. Is here to help you. I even got off of a ticket one time. My daughter was 4 years old. I'm taking a fishing, and I came up on a stop sign, and you slow down and you cruise through it. You pull me over.
I stopped.
Now I do. At the time, I was 25 years old. I slowed down. It was a roundabout.
Yeah, I got you.
It should be a yield sign, but they usually at a roundabout there's a yield sign, not a stop sign, and they're known. Everyone usually yield and then go, and they're waiting for you. So they pulled me over. I said to my daughter, I said, listen, remember the cops are here. Yo, we're going to meet a cop. Remember to say hi when the cop comes. I'm geesing her. So they came over. As soon as they came over, I think she's going to be shocked. She's like, hi, Mr. Policeman. Hi, Mr. Policeman. The dude's like, oh, man, I was about to get you a ticket. Now I can't even get you a ticket. Your daughter showed me so much love. And I'm just showing you how I trained my kids and how I was trained to respect the kids. Respect the cops. But you get taught growing up from 12, 13, 14, and you see the way the cops treat your friends and you at times. If y'all just walking, what you doing over here? That's when you get your dislike.
It's bad policing.
But some of that too is you got to remember at 12, at 11, from 10 to 13 years old, the reason why them police officers used to talk to you that way is because the drug game was very high. And them corners that them young little kids wanted to stand on was not the areas for them boys to be standing on. That's why the police used to yell at you and tell you, yo, what you doing over here? Get out of here. You don't belong over here. You should get on out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Not like that. They should throw you on the floor, search you, put you up against the wall and search you. That's not telling you to get out of here.
You ever got searched?
Yes. Yes.
13?
15 years old.
15. Yeah, you was
and at what time of day was this?
This is midday, right in 21 Park. I was just finished playing. I'm telling the story, you telling it.
Go ahead.
implicate yourself.
No, because I'm
Finish
gonna say
playing
something
ball.
on top of that. Go ahead.
I went over there and sat over there with Aya Pop. They came in there, everybody on the floor. Everybody.
Right.
Well, you
Right.
bad guys.
Now
Huh?
let me
hanging with the
tell
bad
everybody that's listening to the show, this is up in the Bronx, New York, when this is going on. And at that particular time, in this park that we grew up in, yes, it was called PS21. At that time, there was a lot of drugs being trafficked through that park. And exactly and the funny thing is, where they were sitting at, you would see a lot of crack vials underneath that bench. So yes, the police was acting that way.
And we all fit the description, right?
And that's it.
All right, man. Well, we like that. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for the show today, fellas. I think it was a good show. Good conversation. Definitely good conversation. And as we like to leave y'all with this, it's better to be perceived as a fool than to open your mouth and lose all doubt. Take care.
Bye, Stephen.